risky to do so because Baron is so strong. But they're putting a fair bit of thought into this one. So Echo Fox, maybe they're concerned about something like the Kestrel as well, which obviously both Gatsby and Hyde can play to an exceptional level.
Yeah, normally Echo Fox bans Lyra on the B side, actually. So is Lyra going to come out or Grace here? They could also look at Baron and just take it off the map if they do not play it. But I know that they do play Baron. They actually played it yesterday. So in terms of Echo Fox, they're really thinking hard about what draft strategy they want to approach here. Because if they ban Lyra, then Temple Storm will get Grace or Baron. So it's all of those three picks. They need to think. Or maybe they might just ban Grumpjaw and just not give Hyde that Grumpjaw pick that he's been very well known on. So they're taking a lot of time.
Or maybe they're not connected to the draft client.
That could be the situation. But if you look at their previous drafts, though, they ban Lyra normally with Vox being banned. Then they will pick, Vox, Arden, Scarf was one of their picks on B-side, a B-side draft that they came out with. So they're looking for, that potential pick there.
Yep, lots of options available for them, and I would assume that we'll be restarting this draft and just starting with that Tempo Storm Vox ban and trying to kick things off once again as Echo Fox struggling to get anything done in this draft so far. They've been out of bonus time for a little while now.
Yeah, I assume we're just double checking, make sure that they're actually able to connect to the client. It is a third-party client that we use for the draft because obviously the double ban format is not available in-game just yet. But just got to make sure that the players are connected, everything's working out, and then we should be getting the draft restarted.
Yeah, should be all good and ready to
go
shortly. And here we go. Should be just fine to lock in that Vox, and now Echo Fox will hopefully have had enough thinking time at this point already to pick up their first lock in here, but we'll see how this one's going to pan out. So, Lyra, Grace, Grumpjaw, Baron, Batiste, so many powerful picks on the board.
Yeah, that's, again, not too surprising. It does leave Lyra and Grace open. Lyra gets picked first by Tempo Storm. You got to figure that means Grace is going to be the selection for Echo Fox.
Yep, Grace looking very good right now. The two best healers in the game. Even though Dodger is a healer, he's not as popular as a captain pick. So with Grace potentially being picked up here, they may opt for just picking the Scarf so it doesn't get banned against them, because Scarf has worked really well into Lyra, because Lyra doesn't have anything that can stun her out of Scarf out of the ultimate, etc. And they know that Tempo will potentially ban Scarf against Echo Fox here. So if anything, if I was Echo Fox, I would try to maybe pick the Scarf, ban the Ozo, and then Tempo will ban the Grace, and then pick a composition that works well into the Lyra. So they're actually going to go with Lance and not Grace at all. So Grace, they don't even need to worry about. They don't need to ban because a carry Grace wouldn't work, right, Bacon?
A CP carry Grace, I think, has potential. We haven't seen it come out yet, but I don't expect to see it come out either. And hopefully it won't be a weapon Grace, because then that would be another win going to Echo Fox. But it is going to be Grumpjaw the ban. And so now, well,
yep, Scarf will be banned. See, I knew it. I knew they were going to ban Scarf against Echo Fox. So Echo Fox needs to, they need to anticipate that and realize, historically that's what happened last game, and they need to then adjust their draft a little bit here. So now they have. Go ahead, Bacon.
I was going to say, are they going to go for the Kestrel here, or are they going to let Tempo Storm have Kestrel? Because again, Gatsby and Hyde are both extremely proficient, and they can flex it either weapon or crystal depending on who takes it. So the Glaive pickup from Echo Fox is going to leave that open. The Samuel, it means if they are going to go for the Kestrel, it would be the weapon Kestrel.
Yeah, but Glaive Lance is really good into weapon Kestrel, so it could be a baiting to let Samuel play that weapon Kestrel, but he may opt for Gwen, because Gwen can escape a route, so that may be a good pick. Or maybe they might go for Idris here, because he's very mobile, very flexible, or even a weapon Blackfeather in lane. Those are kind of the best choices right now. Hopefully they don't pick Ringo, because Ringo will be horrible into this pick, because Glaive and Lance are just such good counters into that Ringo pick here.
I'm mostly just upset that we're not going to get to see Hyde's CP Kestrel. It's still easily my favorite Kestrel to watch, even over I'm the Doom in Europe. I'm the Doom is phenomenal on the CP Kestrel, but I think Hyde is my favorite one to watch. But they are going to take the Kestrel regardless.
So it's a weapon Kestrel lane. So they took away Irwin's two heroes that he's played in jungle, Samuel and Scarf. What else can Irwin play in jungle here? What else? Is it going to be a Batiste here potentially? I think they may do Baptiste, because he looks pretty good into the composition of Tempo Storm here, because the Fear can cancel and push out the Drifting Dark, push Samuel out of his Drifting Dark. It can CC the Kestrel for a Lance and a Glaive to jump in there. So let's see if they're going to offer that, or maybe they may go aggressive and do maybe Kashka or something. But I think what makes the most sense is a Baptiste, or they may actually go Celeste. I know Irwin plays a really good Celeste. They may try to play the range game and pick a Celeste into this composition and do a lane Weapon Glaive, which is what Echo Fox is known for.
We'll see what they go
Here
for.
we go.
Celeste comes on through in the end. I do just want to say as well, for Tempo Storm, we have seen lane Samuels. I realize it's not a common thing, but we even saw a weapon lane Samuel, which I would definitely not condone for this team.
That would be funny.
There are options available, but let's have a look at what they are going to slot these in for. Celeste going to be on the side of Echo Fox. There's a lot up in the air in this game. Some interesting picks, but how are we feeling these compositions have panned out? Who has an advantage, and what are the win conditions for them to achieve that?
Early game is definitely Tempo Storm. Lyra, Samuel is just going to beat Celeste in the jungle. So they need to win the early game. And Tempo Storm is one of the best teams at the early game. But late game, whew, Echo Fox has a really good comp. So if they get to late game, Echo Fox can win this game.
Yeah, there's also the concern of will the side of Tempo Storm end up grouping up against that Celeste. As long as they can avoid doing that, like we've seen other teams end up doing, then they should be able to take this one, especially if this Kestrel gets any sort of lead in the early goings.
Important thing to point out as well, Grace actually made it all the way through the draft without being picked or banned. That's the first time we've seen that in, I don't even know,
in North America, at least. It happened in Europe in week 1, or the first week that she was available.
Well, I mean, that's weeks ago, right? That's weeks ago. Anyway, that is going to be our draft. Time to head on into this game. Echo Fox up against Tempo Storm. Tempo Storm with an advantage right here. They're going to be looking to push that to a 2-0, but Echo Fox aren't going anywhere without a fight. Let us know who you're supporting. Hashtag Vainglory8. But it's time to jump into the second game of our first North American semi-final.
Thank you very much, guys. Second game on the board here. Echo Fox, can they turn this one around, Iskander, or will Tempo Storm take this to a 2-0? Owen was the player to watch, and this time he's on the Celeste.
Certainly got a little bit later scaling here. I think a lot of this is going to be playing around Celeste's ability in the late game. You imagine Super Shot will be likely sort of migrating from trying to isolate targets to eventually peeling for Celeste. Although, realistically, actually, when I think about it, there's not much peeling to be done. You're against Samuel and Kestrel. They aren't going to be rushing your Celeste by any stretch of the imagination. So maybe this does remain more of a isolation sort of scenario here for Super Shot. We saw him yesterday play the Glaive, sometimes a little bit scared to go in. This time round, he might be able to pick out those targets and have them slammed straight into a Core Collapse or a Impale or a Githian Wall, for instance. Then Erwin should do the majority of the legwork in terms of damage in the late game. Whereas you just have a pure, this is like a classic Siege comp coming out from Tempo. I mean, they have got pure range. They can pressure that turret early. Lost Boy Toff trying to catch out Erwin.
Speaking of range, yeah, Erwin is in a lot of trouble right here. Lost Boy is chasing him. Caspian Hyde just punishing Slater. Just taking all manners of beating. Super Shot does come down from the lane, but again, he's just being punished up in the lane, punished in the jungle. Right now, Fox are looking for that late game. Nice double Githian Wall onto two members of Tempo Storm. Slater, you can imagine he'll get away. Although Hyde and Lost Boy just proving that to be quite a mean, quite a stretch feat right now. Another Githian Wall and Erwin in a problematic situation. Drifting Dark, nice Impale actually onto Lost Boy. Very drawn out fight, but two members of Fox very low. Great stun from Slater. Great Core Collapse from Erwin, but doesn't matter. Slater's is going to fall eventually to first blood at Tempo Storm.
I just don't think if you're Echo Fox, you ever want to fight a Samuel Lyra at level 2 in the jungle. That is such a strong level 2 that you just do not want to mess with. Especially Samuel just absolutely trounces Celeste at this point in the game. Despite some excellent core collapses from Erwin, they weren't enough. And he's had his entire jungle just decimated. They are going to start to move forward here. The root does come down. This is big.
Oh, it's very big. Core Collapse straight into a Githian Wall on Hyde. Gets the Impale as well. Erwin's going to find himself a kill. Well, Slater is going to take it off him. Elder Treant, a little bit too much for Tempo Storm, you can imagine. They do end up losing that one as well. Goutsby rotating down from the lane is going to be matched by Super Shot. He's going to take control of Tempo Storm's jungle now. Fox are wandering towards the backs, but they are just going to be a little bit disappointed to find out they've been taken away.
Met with disappointment as they head over there, hoping they could get some response for the invade that Hyde put onto them, but Erwin not a hugely behind in CS at this point in time. He's only 4 behind Hyde, and his backs have just spawned up, so he'll start to sort of level things out. Hyde made a double, twice now Hyde had an error in terms of getting rooted by one of the Treants and punished for it. Tries to put some pressure onto Glaive and Slader. Super Shot and Slader taking a lot of siege potential here. This is what I talked about. They can just walk into lane, slam down Drifting Dark and Glimmer Shots and Malice and Verdicts, and there isn't very much that Super Shot and Slader can do about it, bar trying to engage a fight, and that's not really what they want to do.
They are trying. Erwin's going to come through. Has got those Heliogenesis going off. There comes the Drifting Dark to heal. Oh, hang on a second. I was going to say to heal Hyde up, but they actually trade 1-for-1. Nice. Githian Wall will stop Hyde actually securing the kill onto Erwin. Erwin finds the kill eventually. Superstar's still getting bullied. CS disadvantage for him is going to be pretty big.
Look how low the turret is right now. Jaws at 3 minutes into the game. This is what a Samuel Kestrel will do. We have Erwin.
There's collapse.
Putting pressure onto Gatsby. This is something that has been very impressive from Erwin. I mean, he has been mechanically. There's Erwin getting rooted up here. He does have that stolen away.
Boy, hang on a minute. It is. It's going to get stolen away by Hyde. Super Shot going very low. Slader's going to be here, hopefully, with a little bit of disengage for Echo Fox. Tempo, they can't really follow up on that double boots usage from them, but they are still trying to get a little something. Erwin finds the healing camp, but Super Shot is going to actually have to back here.
But this might result in the first turret of the game, the first tower of the game going down, which is why Erwin is. I think they've just accepted defeat here. Erwin's going to go farm his back camps. There's no way they can defend this. This will be first turret going over the Tempo. The Samuel Kestrel composition doing exactly what it is supposed to do. It has huge amounts of lane pressure because, especially against the double melee, you can just win from range without ever having the fear, especially in the early game when you've got a Celeste, because she's not exactly, the biggest early game powerhouse. So easy to just outrange your opponents and run at that turret and take it down super quickly for those empowered Malice and Verdicts and those Glimmer Shots that will start to hit hard, especially post Sora Blades. So,
like you mentioned, Fox have to wait towards that later game. To be able to set these kills up, you've got Super Shot to dive in, Slader with oodles amounts of CC. Fox undeterred though. They are still trying to take away Tempo's jungle. I'm not sure they're going to be too happy to see that one go, so they are going to trade a little bit of damage at least Fox's way. That Drifting Dark finding a couple of members, but Hyde doesn't really want to travel on it. Now Gatsby wandering back towards the lane once more. 42 CS here for Super Shot, with 50 on the side of Gatsby. Not a bigger lead than you may have hoped, or at least Gatsby may have hoped.
yeah, I mean, Super Shot's doing a pretty good job of farming on the turret. It's a lead nonetheless, though. Kind of what you expect in the Kestrel matchup, which is when you've got to go up against into triple range as a double melee, especially when you're sporting a later game ranged carry. It's very difficult for Fox to commit and punish this triple range that just walk into their lane and have their way with the turret, because they can't commit at this point, because Erwin isn't yet level 8, not hit item spikes, not hit level spikes. He's really far behind compared to where Hyde is at this point in time. Should soon be able to finish up that Frostburn though, Jaws. Pretty close to that situation, but I mean, you just can't engage as this double melee because you are behind. And so therefore, if you engage, you just assume that you're going to lose regardless. At this point for Fox, it's going to be turtling and farming as much as they can, get Erwin to level 8 at least, and then they might have that range necessary to win out in these team fights.
Yeah, we'll have overloaded that Heliogenesis, so we'll have that range, but still only one member of Fox to have that range advantage over Tempo Storm. And I think big to point out here at Scoundrel, Echo Fox, they need to make it to the finals this week in order to stay alive, and looking very grim right now. That is going to be an even harvest secured here for Erwin, so has got a little bit of damage come online, but still, you look at the items finished here for Tempo Storm, and you got to say, they are much more detrimental for these team fights later on. The Frostburn's been finished from Hyde. There's a Sorrow Blade on Gatsby as well. All looking very, very south here for Fox. We'll see what they can actually do to come back into this game, because as soon as Slater hits that level 6, he's going to be able to set up a lot more plays as he has that combat role for the mobility.
Yeah, again, a lot of it is going to come down to the point where Fox feel it's absolutely safe to sort of find and engage, because the only way you beat a triple ranged as this double melee is you have to find those engages, you have to find some isolation. These typically are going to be 3 squishier targets that should get burst down pretty easily by Celeste and Super Shot. But it's about finding the point in the game where you feel comfortable trying to make an Impale Afterburn play, or just trying to poke from range with the Celeste at level 8, who is nearly level 8 by the way, needs about half a level and then she'll hit that. But you are going to get battered and basically smacked around by Tempo Storm until you find the opportunity to engage properly. And I don't know when that point is, because I feel like they are almost too far behind this point. And if Tempo continue the pressure, it might be too late for them to find that sort of key time to force the engage. Definitely around level 8 for Erwin, though. We need to keep our eyes on that as Hyde just steals away the healing camp.
Oh man, that is sad days. Oblivion did come out from Hyde as well. So that's a big cooldown now for Tempo. See if Fox actually want to aggress on this, but I can't imagine they will, because again, it's very easy for them to kite back with that Drifting Dark. It's going to slow a whole bunch of people up. Gatsby's got his own methods of escaping as well, using the active camo, and then you've got the passageway if worse comes to worse. Tempo looking all too dominating right now. Tenjibo has been finished from Gatsby as well, so another nice power spike for him.
And you've got to look at the Toph, who's picked up the Crucible, so that can prevent engages. Gatsby's got his own reflex block that he's invested in very early, so he doesn't get caught out by impales and doesn't get caught out by afterburns. There's plenty of ways to stop this double melee in its tracks, and that's what I am worried about for Echo Fox. I don't know, unless they get Tempo out of position, where they actually find their win. A lot of it is going to start to rely on Erwin's shoulders, who has gone for an Eve of Harvest first item here, really valuing the long-range sustain. And I think actually that's really intelligent, because we talked about one of the only ways that they win at range is the fact that, to be honest, during non-Drifting Dark segments, Echo Fox should be able to outrange with these Heliogenesis, and I think Erwin's going to have to spam them, so therefore getting the Eve of Harvest very early on means he can, more affordably spam those Heliogenesis and utilize that post-level 8 range of the Celeste.
Oh, Hyde is going to pop the boost. There comes a bright bulwark coming through for Lost Boy, but Super Shot wants to make something of this. But on the sidelines is going to be taken low by Gatsby, but tell you who is going very low, and that's going to be Super Shot. Fountain is going to get popped once more. That's going to be a nice impale, nice Githium all onto Hyde, but he can't really do much. Erwin still running away, needs to find it next into the fight. Gatsby takes out one, he takes out another. That's a double kill for Gatsby. Just comes up big in that fight, was zoned off, gets the flank off. 2 kills to Tempo, and you can imagine that's going to be another turret on the board for them as well.
Yeah, they should be able to push into this tier 2 turret. I don't know exactly why the ultimate went the way it did from Erwin. I felt like he had good position on Hyde to just throw that down and finish him off, and could have even come up maybe even a bit earlier from Erwin as they were forcing Hyde down that choke point. But they didn't have the burst damage required. You can see the range of that post-level 8 Celeste starting to come into play now, with the fact that he needed that Eve of Harvest to spam those abilities. I do like that he's going for the Broken Myth next. Frostburn is kind of a waste of an item in some respects, because yes, okay, you'll be able to slow down this triple range, you'll be able to make sure you're hitting more supernovas, but realistically what you really want to do is just spam those Broken Myth stacks. Get Broken Myth stacks as quickly as possible, spam the Heliogenesis, and then get a big ultimate off across a very squishy team. So this is an intelligent choice of itemization, and I think, realistically for Fox, they're going to want to get another 600 gold in the bank of Erwin. They're not going to fight until they hit that item spike. Should be good to go.
All ready to go. Gatsby is pretty ready to go now as well. Has got that monocle build up for him, so a little bit of crit in there. Never goes amiss, especially on a Kestrel. And it's quite interesting, these compositions, especially in the early game, because, like you said, it's very easy for Tempo Storm to just go, okay, so what do you want to do next, guys? I've cleared out my backs, cleared out my fronts. Let's go to the lane. Let's just push. There's nothing really Echo Fox can do. They have to engage on us, and in which case we can just disengage. It's very easy for us in that regard. That Broken Myth now finished for Erwin. Nice power spike bit him. So again, this is where he really starts to come online. They need to find an entranceway into these fights. This might be it here. It's going to be a nice lot of damage, but Super Shot just goes in and dies. Afterburn instantly. One shot, one kill. Isn't going to find anybody. It actually finds the Crystal Sentry. Impale does end up missing, and Tempo Storm unrelenting on this turret. Slater gets a 2-man Githium wall. Core Collapse is going to get blocked, and Erwin just gets almost deleted. Fountain's going to get popped to keep him alive. That's already 1 kill, actually. Gatsby is going to go down. Erwin still kiting away. Another beautiful Githium wall. Lost Boy Toph. He ends up falling as well to the prod of the Lance after the passageway was fallen through. But Hyde finishes up the kill. But that Crystal Sentry finds the ace for Echo Fox, 4th member of the team.
Oh, that was some beautiful body blocking coming out. And I think that's one of the major issues that we haven't really touched on for Echo Fox. They can body block so many of those abilities coming out from both the Glimmer Shots and the Malice and Verdicts. You can just have Erwin stand behind this big front wall and spam those abilities without the need for much defense. And you saw it there, Slater doing a great job of both preventing those Glimmer Shots coming through, but also stopping the Malice and Verdicts from landing. That's that a snipe?
He stole the gold medal, 1 shot, 1 kill.
Wow.
Oh, and he spams the thanks as well. Oh boy. That is that speaking about body blocking, that did not happen.
No. I mean, I
my
think
goodness.
that was almost just sometimes you can be a bit negligent of the threat of those one-shot, one-kill steals as Lost Boy Toff just get stunned up here. Erwin, you did see in that last fight was putting out insane damage once he built up those stacks. I think he hit 4 or 5 broken lift stacks and unleashed a full frontal ultimate onto Gatsby, which kind of almost obliterated him. That is the win condition for Fox now. We talk about win conditions for teams all the time. The win condition is Erwin building stacks, getting strong, blowing up people.
Get strong, win game, hopefully.
And I
We'll have
think,
to wait and see.
if I were Erwin, I would say, okay, do we really need because it looks like with this triple range that they are consistently aggressing onto the Echo Fox lineup. I wouldn't go for a Frostburn here. I would actually probably go for a Shatterglass. Add to the fact that I just want pure outright burst damage. There is no shielding picked up for Hyde, no shielding picked up for Gatsby. That would be my item of choice for Erwin going forward here. Get a Shatterglass, blow them up.
Well, I mean, he can still itemize towards that. We'll see how long that'll take him to pick that up, though, because we're 14 minutes on the clock, and it might not look much. I mean, it is 5,000 gold in the pocket for Tempo Storm, but their pressure advantage is just absolutely massive. Later, blowing that Githian wall fairly early does mean Fox actually have to back away now with that cooldown. With that on cooldown now. Now Tempo Storm, they did manage to kill one of those Crystal Sentries too. That's got one less life as well. Now just securing all the camps of Echo Fox. With 30 seconds until the Kraken spawns as well. Tempo Storm got a lot of vision down across the map. Look at all those tiny blue dots. No matter where Fox go, they will be met with vision. And that snipe. Erwin takes 800 damage from one shot, one kill.
Toff's going to portal over, you feel. He's really going to try and push the issue.
So he's looking for it now. This might be the perfect opportunity for him to do it. Yet there's the Bright Bulwark. Super Shot actually on the other side. They immediately blow up Erwin. Now he turns it into a 2v3. Super Shot finds himself on the wrong side of the map completely. They're going to ignore Slater. Well, Gatsby isn't, as they just chase down Super Shot. He falls. 15 minutes on the clock. 30 seconds ago, they were looking for the engagement. They found it, and the Kraken's on the board for them.
Slater played around the Crystal Sentry so well there, and he's continuing to do so, but Hyde should have the number here, and they'll get the ace. Wonder if they just finish off Crystal Sentry. Don't think they can do Kraken at this point in time, because I think Erwin will be up, and that'll be too much for them to contend with. They are going to clear out this jungle, however. Erwin, a little bit of a gold away from having a solid third CP item choice here. Probably just going to go to the lane as it pushes towards him and clears that. Although I think actually the lane is pushing... No, the ace means he's going to push towards Erwin now. He'll have a little bit of gold income to work with. Erwin takes... Where did the snipe go?
I think the Treant?
I don't think the Treant can soak a snipe. I'm not sure.
No,
actually.
I don't think it can. I don't know. It looked like Erwin took it, but...
I think he might have just sidestepped it. It must have been on a very edge there.
Pixel perfect.
Because I'm pretty sure if you snipe a small Treant or a forward Treant, you kill it in one shot. If it was going to hit it, it would kill it in one shot, the amount of damage that it does. So I think Erwin must have just dodged that out, but it did look like it hit on my screen.
Tornado Trigger finished for Gatsby now. You can see them just chunking through the Kraken with ease. Super Shot looking for a little entrance here. Maybe he can find something, but it's getting captured very quickly. About 3/4 now. It is going to go for that small reset. They need to pull the trigger. They're going to go for it now, and he steals it. He steals it. Pays for it with his own life. Super Shot does go down, but that one afterburn steals it away. They're going to try and chase them up now. Lost Boy Toff using that passageway. They are going to find Slater. He's going to get trapped. He goes to sleep, and he also goes back to base. When the last member alive, Paul collapse on Gatsby, sidesteps the Supernova. Tempo Storm with the ace, but still taking off that Kraken off the board is going to be very important for them, but they're just completely ignoring it. They're going for the base.
They can't win this. They can't win this just yet. I think they realise that the timers are just too short. Super Shot's up. They're going to get a turret. I don't think they were going for the win. I think they were just going for that singular turret. They know that Kraken's going to take the first turret. They should be able to get to it and put pressure on it before it even takes the second. I like to call that move, especially with Glaive, the poly maneuver. I've been naming this the poly maneuver. It's the hero Glaive play through all adversity and odds. Glaive afterburn into the Kraken pit and see what happens. That was the poly maneuver right there from Super Shot, and he picks up the kill as well. What a god.
I can't believe he stole it as well, because the amount of just straight up damage that Tempo have is just clearly wasn't enough. And Gatsby, I don't know if he was continually auto-attacking the Kraken at that time.
It needed to be a one-shot, one-kill secure from Gatsby, realistically. Yeah. Super Shot, though, he learned his lessons from yesterday. I told him all the way through the cast, be a man. Be a man, just make those Glaive afterburns happen. He has learnt his lesson. He has graduated from the Mulan School of Manhood. Fully fledged glaive slinger. I'm gonna let him join the ranks of Polly in terms of man mode glaive plays, because that was absolutely excellent. I don't think it solves any of the issues that Echo Fox still have, but I mean, it certainly was nice to look at.
I mean, it's hard to argue, but Lost Boy just going in though, 1v3, but the rest of his team are here to back him up. Super Shot takes the passageway once again. Nice stun from Slater. Is going to find Lost Boy Toph, but Super Shot just taking far too much damage. There comes the Solar Storm, goes only a little bit wide. And that'll be Tempo Storm dodging out that massive ranged ability, but now they're just kiting up, healing up as well, using Lost Boy to their fullest advantage.
8 stacks, 9 stacks on Erwin. You just have to
Don't want to fight him.
You just have to back off from this situation. 9 stacked Celeste is devastating. The stacks are going to drop now. Definitely feel like Echo Fox could have pushed the issue there with 9 stacks on Erwin's Broken Myth, but they felt it very difficult. That front line just not able to tank enough damage right now, Jules.
Yeah, there's a time limit on these fights. I mean, Tempo Storm have to be able to delete someone, because if Erwin does get to those crazy amount of stacks, there's no way he's not going to 1-2 shot Gatsby if he steps forward with a Heliogenesis.
There's
Exactly.
no shielding.
He's got a reflex block for HP, but that's literally it.
So he's gone for the Frostburn over the Shatterglass, by the way. There's basically what it provides is 2 elements. Obviously, Frostburn is going to control the pace of teamfights really nicely, and against double melee, slowing down triple range is really useful. Also allows it to effectively build more
passageway coming in for Lost Boy already. Look at where's High's positioning. Perfect on top of Erwin. Just can't make it engage into this fight. He is over the wall. They might just find one here, but Gatsby is going to go very low. Super Shot's going to be able to find that kill. Here comes Erwin. Even Harvest healing him up. Lost Boy is going to fall to a Heliogenesis if he's not careful. Nice reflex block, or I should say Crucible from Fox, just to make sure that Oblivion doesn't land, and now Hyde in a 1v3. Slayer still takes a lot of damage. Super Shot did find the kill onto Lost Boy at the end of all that as well. Slater, you're going to be cheeky, is going to find it, but he's just going to trade his own life for it. But look at the lane here. Not really pushed up at all. Fox can't really make anything of this. Super Shot is going to find the stun. He's surely going to go down. Owen secures the kill. They find the ace, but what can they really do?
They can get the Kraken. That's what they can really do. They can go straight for Kraken here. And again, I feel like Toph is pulling the trigger on these fights in the wrong positions. I like what he did earlier when he chased down the Celeste, because he caught Celeste out of position and Super Shot wasn't with the team. Toph is now trying to barrel his entire triple range team into the very midst of a double melee. They really need to utilize a little bit of the range of the Drifting Dart, get a bit more work done to Super Shot and Lance before this takes off, Slater and Lance. Before these fights take off. And then try and find a good situation where Erwin is out of position to portal in. The problem is that they are just portaling in, even when Erwin is correctly positioned behind his melee line and being peeled for very nicely. And then they're expecting to blow him up and he's finding ways out and unfortunately getting punished for it.
I mean, you could just say you flare him out first, make sure you know where he is, then Lost Boy jumps on his face, and then hope the rest of your team can back him up. Oh,
big stun.
That was a big stun. Super Shot's going to go in, though. He's going to go fairly low for that. Kraken does take the turret in the meantime. Fountain was popped from Echo Fox as well. Being more nice and healthy, but now, Tempo, they got 3 damage on this Kraken. He is going to go down without taking that turret. So only securing 1 turret, but it's still a leg back into this game.
I still think Tempo are definitely winning these team fights. They're still somehow 10k gold ahead, despite losing that Kraken there. It's more that Echo Fox are finding the correct situations to fight. And those correct situations are when Erwin is correctly positioned behind his melee lineup, and Lost Boy Top has been making some engages that you could view as very questionable. I would like to see Tempo utilize their range advantage of the double melee a bit more, try and dodge as many of those Heliogenesis as possible, don't allow Celeste to build those stacks as easily. Because one of the things that Tempo are doing is, if they're going to engage, they need to engage straight away before Celeste builds stacks. Erwin gets caught out. This is a good time. This is a good time to portal because Erwin's low and they've just used Fountain a second ago. It is up in a few seconds, but you know, Toph now needs to pull the trigger in these kind of situations because that's a very, very, very low Celeste.
Doesn't really want to do it. I mean, Gatsby was just too more concerned with taking away that healing camp instead. I mean, now they've lost their opportunity. Owen's going to go back to base. He's going to heal up, and now he's going to be able to re-engage in these fights. But the one-shot, one-kill, we've got to remember, it is on a fairly short cooldown, but finding that target of the Erwin is going to be very hard because he's going to be in front. He's going to be behind his beefy front line, the Glaive and Lance. Now they're just Teaming up in the lane now. One shot, one kill. Actually, again, it finds Erwin. They catch him out here. Here comes the portal. Here comes the engage. Hyde onto the side. Didn't actually follow the portal through. Erwin has to be very careful. But Lost Boy Top just gets taken out instantly. Hyde really couldn't do anything. Didn't find any damage in that fight because he was off to the side. Oblivion is going to get blocked. There's going to be a fountain as well. Popped from Echo Fox once more to heal them all up. Nice, once more. Gatsby using that reflex box to stop the impale. Now Fox in a 2v3, but 2 damage dealers from Tempo Storm can turn this around. It's exactly what they were looking to do. Slater doesn't end up falling. Super Shot is going to just dash forwards using that afterburn. Gatsby doesn't get quite taken out from the ultimate from Celeste. One shot, one kill. That is big hit. Oh, he's going to go down as well. Hyde finds one kill, and now Slater does end up taking out Gatsby on the sidelines of it all, but Super Shot coming up big. They find the ace again. And Fox working their way back into this game.
Oh, Hyde doesn't feel like he's committing at the right time with the team. He should probably just barrel through the portal, pop the Drifting Dark, and everybody go in onto Erwin. But he's trying to find the flank play, which is resulting in a good 3 to 5 seconds of these fights where he's not landing anything, doing nothing. Gatsby and Lost Boy Top are committing. You need to commit as a unit. If you're going to commit like that as a triple ranged, you need to triple ranged everybody in there. Get the Drifting Dark rolling, get that Frostburn applied to Erwin, because that's one of the major things. Erwin is getting a very easy escape. Frostburn is not being applied to him, and it's meaning he can just run away with ease. Lyra coming through here. Be careful, Lost Boy Toff could make a miracle steal happen.
Not too much damage on the sigil though, that's the thing. You can imagine Super Shot and Slater are going to secure this. We'll have to wait and see. It's going down very, very slowly. Gatsby's not there for the miracle steal either. It's going very low. One shot, one kill goes a little bit wide. Super Shot is going to secure it. That impale from Slater just missing briefly. Now Lost Boy is just going to, slink away. Get a bit disappointed. Man, Tempo. I mean, they're the same turrets almost. And that turret in their base is very, very low. It's going to be easily taken by that Kraken alone. Now, what do? They need to put the pedal to the metal, or they're just going to get choked out here.
They should be able to deal a lot of damage done to this Kraken before she even makes it, though, which is going to put Fox on the back burner to try and make an engage happen, because they don't want to let this Kraken go down very quickly. They want to punish Tempo for extending out of their base here. There should be at least one turret going down, but I don't feel like the third Kraken of the game is going to be enough to finish things off here for Tempo. They should be able to clear this quite quickly.
The third Kraken as well. Think about that to yourself. The third Kraken Echo Fox has had. They've just managed to break the brace. They've needed one Kraken per turret take to actually secure anything. Now Tempo, they really need to come back into this one. I mean, they've been losing Krakens time and time again. They're 10k ahead in gold still.
Still farming up that advantage. Erwin, some work with those long-range big supernova.
Passageway comes through again. Gatsby is going to come through, but no, that's going to be a massive gift. He won't to dissuade him all that damage. No, look at Gatsby now raining through the 3 hits. Fountain's going to get popped. Erwin letting all those Heliogenesis. Core Collapse was used. Nice Solar Storm obliterates Gatsby. Lost Boy Top almost falls as well. Had to pop the sigil on himself to keep himself alive. That is the broken missteps we were talking about. Those are the numbers you want to see on Erwin's screen.
7 broken misstacks there. Ultimate absolutely chunks them out. I mean, that was just insane. This should be Echo Fox pushing for the win here, Jaws.
It might just be. Tempo Storm have got a lot of damage, though. That's something we've got to keep in mind. Hyde, he's at that 3-item mark. A couple of defensive items under his belt as well. But they were in a 3v2 scenario, especially with 2 beefy front lines. It'll be easy for Echo Fox to force their way in. But with Gatsby spawning in 20 seconds, it's going to have to result in at least a couple more team fights before they actually do take this game.
The problem I'm having with Tempo Storm right now, Jack, is that Erwin has got a big supernova there at the start of the fight. He built at least 2 or 3 stacks before they even forced the engage. And then the body blocking from Slater and Super Shot is making it very difficult to chase Erwin down. And again, Tempo Storm uneasy to commit as a unit to taking out this. I think this... They have tried this tactic now of barreling in via a portal 2 or 3 times. It hasn't worked. I think you need to change of pace. Find a flank. Utilize the Drifting Dark range that you have. Try and do more damage to that melee lineup before committing to trying to take out Celeste. Those are the things that I think Tempo Storm need to change up here, because they have tried 4 times now with Lost Boy Top forcing the engage at the portal, and every time they've come off the worst. Things need to change up.
Well, they're still trying to chunk out Erwin. Not too chunk though. I mean, Hyde is just repeatedly doing damage, and it's not going to get healed up, and that's kind of the big thing, apart from Erwin using his Eve of Harvest.
I do want to just change something, because something I want to pick up very quickly. Gatsby changed from a Tornado Trigger build to a Double Tyrant's Monocle build, which spells that he is now more Glimmer Shot focused. He's looking to be more ranged. He's not going to go in and use those auto attacks as frequently. He's going to hit harder if he lands those Glimmer Shots. It's better against the armor values that have been picked up as well by Fox, especially Slater.
Well, once more, those Helo Genesis doing a fair bit of work at zoning Tempo Storm away. Fox have reclaimed control of this little tri-brush here. Now Tempo Storm clearing out some of that jungle vision as well. One shot, one kill goes a little bit wide. Super Shot looking for his way back into this, looking for his way actually into the fight to start off with. Fusions across the board. This next team fight will secure the game for either one of these teams, you can imagine. 28 minutes onto the clock, that Kraken is on the board as well. Just both teams now are just reluctant to pull the trigger.
And again, this is what it gets like in the endgame, Jaws. Have to be careful, because one wrong foot could throw the game. Tempo going to start to push down the lane. They're going to try and bring Echo Fox to them. Erwin taking a big forward slot, and Super Shot already uses his...
Here we go, this will be the engagement. Oh, he takes so much damage from the Glimmer Shots. It's still on the back line. One shot, one kill is going to find Super Shot. Now they want to go in. Oblivion is going to get blocked. Portal, passageway. There we go. They're on the back line. Erwin still just getting body blocked by Slater. This is perfect play from Echo Fox right now. They managed to take out one member, but Hyde is just going to run down Slater. Those basic attacks will finish him off. And now Erwin, very, very low. Can't commit to anything else. Has to back off, but Hyde is going to find him. He knows exactly where he is. Those Heliogenesis doing a lot of work. And you can see now Gatsby actually just pushing into the base with these minions. Can't make anything work either, because Super Shot is going to get back. And that will be 1-for-1 trade and nothing going on.
I don't know if that was the right decision from Gatsby. I think he had a good position to just run into Erwin and land some Glimmer Shots, but he thought he would take the route of pushing the lane and going for those turrets, while this distraction of Hyde maybe bought him enough time. I think that was the wrong decision, Jaws. I think he could have found a kill onto Erwin. He was out of position. Bonesaw picked up now, my goodness. This has been an interesting game.
Bonesaw was not something we usually see anymore.
I mean, that reduces his burst damage, but means he'll do more to that front line eventually, once he builds those Bonesaw stacks.
Yeah, eventually. Not getting the time though. That's the only problem that I can see. In fact, they are going to start this Kraken here. Remember, Gatsby has got a fair bit of damage, saying this Hyde, but Super Shot is going to spot it out. In fact, Afterburns in, thought it was a little bit lower than, or a little bit more full than he thought it was. He's going to have to pop those boots to get away. That's a lot of burst damage on the Gatsby as well. Lost Boy is going to come through. Super Shot might just go down. Oblivion does come out, but they're on the wrong side of it. Owen got slept though, but they couldn't capitalize on it.
I think more importantly, they broke the sleep. I didn't even think Toff expected that to land, and he broke the sleep on Erwin. There could have been a great time for Gatsby to line up some Glimmer Shots, but he broke the sleep because I don't think he expected it to land, Jaws.
Now still Tempo Storm posturing around this Kraken. The next trigger, if it's pulled, it will shoot either Tempo Storm or Echo Fox. And it will end in the game going over to one of these two. If the team fight, if an ace does come through, that is. We've seen 1-for-1s, but it needs to be at least 2 members going down. Slater takes the 1-shot, 1-kill, but he is so beefy. Drifting Dart coming in. Maybe they look for an engage now. Slater very low. They got that passageway available. They just use that bright bulwark, though, to snare everybody up. And once again, Fox, they make it all out alive. Heliogenesis is raining through Tempo Storm's lineup. And you can see Gatsby here trying to get some nice range, trying to get some nice Glimmer Shots. Owen's in the front line. Core Collapse does end up missing. Still using those boots to get away. They're going to collapse that. Owen in the front line does use those boots to get away. That Broomstick's perfect. That Solar Storm's good though. The Oblivion does sleep him, but now Slater, he needs to be able to protect him. Needs to be this body block, because Super Shot's completely on the wrong side of the team fight. Tempo Storm going to chase him down there. They are going to find him, and you can imagine they're just going to be able to take him out for free, but he manages to take one with him. Hidden. Hyde even, he's going to go down. They trade 1 for 0, but Gatsby is so low, so they can't actually do the crack.
Eve of Harvest Celeste Ultimate with so many stacks of Broken Myth are giving her huge amounts of HP back when she lands it. I really like the change in pace though from Tempo Storm. I think they're approaching this fight much better. They're really punishing the front line, and you can see that in the change of build from Gatsby going for the Bonesaw. He's looking to do as much damage as possible to that big beefy front line from Fox. Goodness me though, Kraken going down here. I don't think they're going to get there in time, especially Gatsby. And it's going to be a body block from Erwin. They may be going to try and force him away with the portal from Lost Boy Toff, and then maybe go for a steal.
Lost Boy, if he secures this, he's the man of the hour. 1-shot, 1-kill. He's going to come
He gets it!
Tempo Storm snipes the Kraken away with the 1-shot, 1-kill eventually. Lost Boy, you won't even need it, because Gatsby was standing a mile away and snipes it out.
and they're going to try and punish Erwin here. He should be able to back, but
I don't know,
oh, wait a
Portal.
second.
Hang on a second. Yeah, because look at Gatsby. He's just running for him. He's going to be able to chase him down. Tempo Storm might have done it. Fox, they've slipped up here, but Gatsby, the man of the hour, steals the Kraken with the one-shot, one-kill.
Gatsby the god, he gets the stun onto Erwin, or rather onto Super Shot as well, and he's forced to afterburn away. This should be business time for Tempo. They should be able to close things out.
40 seconds on Erwin's timer here. With Hyde coming down the lane as well. Gatsby's got a lot of damage, especially to these neutral structures. He is going to get found out, though. Fountain is going to get popped. Look, he's just trying to kite back. It doesn't matter because that Kraken's going to do most of the work, especially with Hyde as well. Just knocking on those turrets. Hyde using that Drifting Dark is going to get rooted up. There's a lot of healing for him. Nice Oblivion, sleeping 2 targets of Echo Fox, but still getting afterburned. Turret's still going to fall, though. Kraken knocking on the base. 2 turrets down. The Crystal left. Same with Lost Boy. He's just kiting around. He knows he can finish this game because Fox have to be able to just contend this Kraken. Solar Storm, they're throwing everything at this Kraken. It's at half HP.
My word.
Lost Boy
This is
top.
going to be
This is
so
gonna be
close.
Kraken, one more hit, it'll go down. One more hit from Lost Boy secures the game, secures the series, and what a devastating loss for Echo Fox.
What a game from both of these teams. It was close to the very end. I love the way that Fox played to their win condition. They knew that getting Erwin to the late game was the major part of the way that they were going to play. The body blocking was on point, but the adaptation of tempo mid-series, they realized that the Lost Boy Tough strategy was not working. They changed over to punish the front line more, and they punished the front line.